We have some big fight news. Dana just announced 3 title fights, as well as a potential #1 contender fight for the light heavyweight title. 3 of those are going to be on the same card. So for UFC 320, we have the main event, Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira 2. It's going to be a great rematch, and we'll see the adjustments that Alex makes. Perhaps he's going to be more aggressive in this one and not just kicking at the legs, but that could trigger out the counter-striking skills of Magomed Ankalaev. Great rematch. The co-main event of that card is Merab Dvalishvili versus Cory Sandhagen. Wait, no O'Malley trilogy? Great to see it's Cory Sandhagen, a new opponent. It was the fight to make, and above all of that, Merab's activity as a champion is pretty insane. He is more active as a champion than he was as a contender. 3 title fights this year, starting with Umar, rematch against O'Malley, and now Sandhagen. Yo, Umar's got to fight again, man. It's been since January. I know he had a injury to his hand, but I believe his surgery from a broken hand doesn't take that long to recover from. It says around 10 weeks. We'd love to see Umar fight again. But man, Merab is fighting so frequently. This is what we want to see from all the other champions. And I think Cory's going to be a tougher fight than O'Malley was. But at the end of the day, what does it matter? Who can stop Merab? Cory's going to have to land a flying knee or something to knock him out. But there is another big fight before that. Seemingly the #1 contender fight between Jiri Prochazka and Khalil Rountree. That might be the best fight on the card, even with 2 title fights above it. Jiri versus Khalil is going to be an insane striking match. Khalil is fighting again this quickly. The guy just beat Jamal Hill in June. He's returning 3.5 months later to fight Jiri. Wait, but where's Cole's Olberg? I thought that he was going to fight Jiri. That must mean that Olberg wasn't ready, because Olberg just beat Blachowicz and seemingly was next for this title eliminator fight. But now that it's confirmed that Khalil's fighting Jiri, I don't know who Olberg fights. The 3 guys above him, Magomed, Alex, and Jiri, all have their next fights. The guy below him is Khalil, who also has a fight. Below that is Blachowicz, who he just beat, and below that is Jamal Hill. Then Rakic, then Reyes. Olberg's literally left out without a fight. It most likely means that Khalil is ready to fight and Olberg wasn't. That could have been what it was, but this is a better fight, man. Jiri versus Khalil is a much more entertaining fight than Olberg's counter-striking style. Jiri and Khalil are going to clash at the center of the octagon until one of them wins by knockout. So far, we only have 3 fights in that card, but it is looking stacked. That is going to be on October 4th. Later in the month, there is another pay-per-view card, UFC 321, headlined by the heavyweight title fight. Tom Aspinall is going to be fighting Ciryl Gane, and this is going to be Ciryl Gane's 3rd undisputed title shot. The first time he fought Francis Ngannou in a very close fight, a lot of people believe he won. Then he fought John Jones for the vacant title and got smoked in the first round, and now he is fighting Tom Aspinall. The title shot would make more sense if he definitively beat Alexander Volkov with no controversy of that decision. If he knocked him out or had a dominant performance, or if Volkov just didn't beat him, then yes, Ciryl Gane fighting for the title makes a lot more sense. But Volkov won that fight. And because Volkov was scheduled to fight Almeida after, Aspinall versus Gane was the next clear title fight. And honestly, man, they're all going to lose to Aspinall. This is Tom Aspinall's 2nd title defense. He has such a big grappling advantage over Gane. Gane can do well in the striking. He can avoid some of the punches, and he has a longer reach. He's one of the few heavyweights, probably the only heavyweight, that can somewhat match the speed of Aspinall. But that is all only in the striking. It's been a while since he displayed his grappling skills, but Tom Aspinall is a good grappler, and he's most likely going to beat Ciryl Gane with it. Blast double leg, submit him on the ground. 1st or 2nd round win for Tom Aspinall, continuing his dominance in this heavyweight division. And with these fights announced, it looks like Islam Makhachev is going to fight in November against Jack Della Maddalena in Madison Square Garden. It seems like that's the card they're most likely fighting on, or it's in December. But I can't imagine a bigger title fight to have at MSG than JDM versus Islam right now. I mean, unless Ilya's fighting again. Ilya versus Patty would be big as well, but I think JDM versus Islam is a lot better for MSG. Now, as for Anka and Alex, the fight can actually be very similar to the first one, but it all depends on how Alex approaches it this time. The first time they fought, he wasn't moving forward as much, he wasn't nearly as aggressive as he used to be, and relied a lot on leg kicks. Because Anka's a southpaw, Alex resorted to a lot of lead kicks, right? When you have an open stance fight, both guys are in opposite stances, kick it on the inside of the leg can be a lot easier to check. So due to that southpaw stance, Alex was not able to inflict enough damage like he normally does when he's in the closed stance, both orthodox, where there he can slam on the outside of the calf and destroy it within a round. Ankalaev was landing some good kicks as well. He did have that one combination that hurt Alex in the 2nd round. Ankalaev's speed is always going to be a very dangerous thing for Alex because he can blitz in and land some combos. He can counter strike very fast and can be patient enough in the stand-up to not run into those counter left hooks. He also has the wrestling to mix up with the striking to keep Alex guessing and keep him defensive instead of moving forward. And that could have been a big reason as to why Alex wasn't as aggressive in the first fight. He might have respected the wrestling too much and he defended every takedown. So in the rematch, he might be more aggressive just based off of that. He knows going into this one that he could defend the takedowns. That confidence might help him be more aggressive in this one. But that's the thing here. If Alex actually moves forward this time, forces out his openings by using the jab to the body, stepping the outside lead foot and throwing the right straight down the center, or walking forward after slamming body kicks, he could have some quick success, but he also could get quickly knocked out. Again, Ankalaev's main striking style is that of a counter striker, and you saw moments of that even in the first fight. Alex would throw a right straight, and then you would see Ankalaev slightly move on an angle, ready to throw his own counter shots. So I think if Alex gets more aggressive this time, it potentially could make the fight even easier for Ankalaev. Ankalaev's counter striking is going to be an interesting chess match for Alex to get through, and not getting taken down in the process. As an early prediction, I would say Ankalaev wins this fight even easier than last time. I think Alex is going to be more aggressive, but I think it will get him dropped in the fight at least once. There'll be some takedowns from Ankalaev because of that aggression. It opens up the shot a lot more, and I think Ankalaev finishes him this time in either the third or fourth rounds. Now for the co-main event, Merab and Cory. Honestly, man, it's like the same thing as all these other guys. It just doesn't really matter of the style if you cannot keep up with that cardio of Merab Dvalishvili. Eventually, at some point of the fight, he makes all of his opponents look the same. They're all different for the first and second rounds, but once that third round hits, they all turn into the same fighter. Tired, standing in front of him, not as elusive. They don't have the same power in their shots. They don't have the same strength in their takedowns. And Merab starts to dominate as the fight goes on. With Cory Sandhagen, I think it's going to be the same thing. Cory generally has good cardio, but so did Jan, so did Umar, so did O'Malley. All of those guys have fought 5 rounds, but they all get tired by the third. With Merab. That seems to be the threshold. Third round is when they start to slow down. So Cory Sandhagen is going to have to make something work. Get the knockout in the first or second rounds. Flying knee, crazy high kick, something like that. To be technical with Merab and try to outpoint him is never going to work. You have to finish this guy. Cory has actually some of the best skills to do that. All of his flashiness and combinations and stuff, with how tall and long he is, he can find the knockout better than some of the other guys stylistically. But Merab knows that. He's going to know that Cory's going to try to land a flying knee or a head kick. And the weaker thing that Cory has than all of those guys is takedown defense. Even if he's able to stand up, Merab is going to return him to the mat and keep gassing him out. All the effort and energy Cory's going to use to get to his feet, Merab is going to take him down again. Then Cory's going to have to use that energy again to get up over and over throughout the fight. So I think Merab is going to win this one by mostly a dominant decision. And if he isn't the bantamweight GOAT already, I think after this one, it will be established. He is the greatest bantamweight ever. Then Jiri versus Khalil. I am more excited for this one than all of the other announced fights. These guys are a lot more equals than any of those title fights are. Although, one of them is probably going to get knocked out in the first or second rounds. One shot from either of them can end the fight, but if they fought like 10 times, I think Jiri and Khalil can win 5 times each in different crazy exchanges, resulting in those knockouts. The leg kicks from Khalil can be devastating for Jiri, and Yuri's gonna have to bring the fight to him, so he can get in too close of a range for the kicks to be effective, and land stray shots as Khalil is winging those haymakers. But which one's gonna be faster, man? I think Khalil might be faster, but he doesn't move his head as well as Jiri does, right? Yuri's defense never looked better than when he fought Jamal Hill. Now, Jamal Hill's not necessarily the best striker, he's not as good as Khalil, but they both like to throw these winging telegraph punches that I think Jiri can slip and counter. Like the way he finished Jamal Hill with that 2-punch combination is something I can see him doing against Khalil as well. In fact, Alex did that to Khalil in that 4th round. The only thing is, Jiri has to feel out the fight before he can do that, because it even took Alex 2 rounds to feel out Khalil Rountree's speed and his style. And Alex is a lot more of an intelligent striker than Jiri Prochazka is. And if it took him 2 rounds, I don't know if Yuri is going to be slipping the same way in the first or second rounds against him, because I think that's when the fight ends. And I think Khalil's leg and body kicks are going to keep Yuri's head still, as well as slow down his footwork, right? Because if there's enough leg damage, let's say Khalil is chopping down on that leg of Jiri, it's harder to lean your weight on it when you want to slip punches. When you slip side to side, you're putting more weight on your legs, and the more damage that leg has, the harder it is to lean on it, so your slipping is not going to be as fast or sometimes even precise enough to slip the punch. Man, it's a tough fight to pick, but the more I think about it, I am siding more so with Khalil Rountree winning. I like his fundamentals. His striking seems a lot more grounded than Jiri's, and that seems to be the trend in striking right now. Not what the trend was before, where a lot of fighters are moving around and throwing out flashier techniques and stuff, almost resembling a lot of what Conor was doing. Now we see like the Ilya Topuria sort of trend, where fighters are a lot more grounded in their stance and measuring better to line up their power shots. I think we're going to see that same thing out of Khalil, effective against Jiri Prochazka. I think Khalil Rountree is going to win by a 2nd round knockout, but again, I can see Jiri winning this too. So some big fights in October. Which one's your favorite? Even though there's 3 title fights, my favorite is Jiri versus Khalil. I think Aspinall versus Gane and Merab versus Cory are going to be rather one-sided. Magomed versus Alex is going to be a good fight, but it's a rematch, and the first fight wasn't that exciting. Jiri and Khalil is a guaranteed banger. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to give it a like, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video.